here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Ancient Cistern in the semi-finals of Grand Platypus Open number 86, we have the Indian Zerg player representing Alpha X. It is Demi. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner. In the bottom left hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponents. We have the Kong from Hong Kong, the pink Protoss representing the Juggernauts. It is Bistork. The teams on casting tool may be wrong for game one, but I will fix them. I will fix them. You have my word. You have my word. As we do get into this, and Bistork, he is a terrifying opponent. If you know anything about our region, if you know anything about these players, then you know how unorthodox Bistork can be, and that's why he's such a tricky player to play against, to be honest. Bistork, you know, quite often he can go for charge all-ins, he can go for some Stargate based all-ins, he can cannon rush you as well. He can be a very unpredictable player, and as a Zerg player, he can be very difficult to play against. I'm sure that's why Demi has had so many difficulties in the past, just because of the unpredictability and the prioritization of scouting as well against Bistork. And to be fair, it's not just about scouting, it's also about recognizing what you are seeing and recognizing how to correctly react as well. Oh boy. So we'll see how this all turns out. So far, pretty standard openers. We have a Gate Expand coming out from Bistork. Likewise, Demi goes for a Hatch Gas Pool as well. Is what we want to be seeing. And the next real question really is going to be, because Demi shouldn't be going for a 2-base all-in or anything like that. Demi is probably the most standard and the most macro-oriented out of all the Southeast Asian Zerg players. Like, when I think of Gogo Joey, Mio Micah, Ender, and Demi, I do think that at least in this matchup, or in all matchups, I would say that Demi is the most standard and the most normal out of all of them. He's like the black sheep. He's the black shark, if you will, the shark of the pack, as opposed to how the others do kind of react and respond and play. It doesn't mean that Demi can't all-in. He has all-in, and I'm sure he will again at some point in this series. But overall, he does have more macro tendencies. As as Bistork is going to be opening up with a Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council into that Robo. Because of the fast Robo, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Dark Shrine opener. We do see that Stalker going to be shooing away the Overlord for the time being. We have pulled out a gas though, actually, so this actually looks like Glaives. Never mind, I'm going to have to eat my own words, and there we go. Glaives does begin. Of course, the big tell of whether it is Glaives is if you do pull one out of each gas geyser, but we'll see how committed this is going to be. We have 3 gates for the time being. 3 gates is pretty standard. Oh my god. 3 gates is pretty standard, but we are going to be throwing down a couple more. We're going to be going for 4-gate Glaive Adept. Are we going to throw down a 5th? Bistork. Are we going to throw down a 5th gateway? Yeah, we are. We are going all in. Let's go, Papi. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gateways on the way here for Bistork. And that is more than just committed here from our pink Protoss player. And that is why he's a scary player to play against. Demi, he doesn't make it into the main base. His Overlord was denied. His Overlord was kept at bay. And Demi doesn't know how all-in his opponent is going to be. Whether it's 3, 4, or 6 gateways. Or even 8 gates. Which has been done before. Meanwhile, Demi's going to be cutting drones here at 43. Which is, you know, pretty respectable. He goes for a Roach Warren as well. He's making all the correct moves. Now it's going to be about the engagement. It's going to be about how he does compare with these adepts. Oh, the Queens are in range. They're trying to focus down the Prism, but the Prism does back off in time. We do have 1 transfuse available, and it looks like the Queens will survive. Ooh, we just barely get the second transfuse, but the Adept DPS is just a little bit too high. That was a lot of commitment there for only a single queen, and we haven't touched the drone count yet of Demi. But to be fair, we're going for another warp in. Now Demi's droning? Oh no, Demi being a little bit too greedy here, I think. He just made 4 drones, and now he's going to be losing every single one of these queens. Oh, we do see the adepts being cornered by those lings, but my god, glaive adepts do so much DPS. Demi, I feel like the punish may just be a little bit too much here. We have the roaches coming out, and a decent amount of roaches, to be fair. But we haven't really seen Bistork go for those shades yet, and I feel like the next shade is going to be the one that he goes for. Oh, he wants another queen. He does cancel the shade. Gets a roach. And this adept count is getting higher and higher. Ay. We're getting to the point where we're hitting critical mass of adepts. And this may just be too much. The final queen goes down. 3 roaches as well. We commit to the shade. There are lings waiting for him, but these lings, they're just gonna melt. Lings do melt, but this roach count is pretty damn high. Oh my god, as we commit to the shade and we head in towards the 3rd base. Finally, some drones are going to be going down. The roaches are having a hard time keeping up. The ling count was reset. And we're going to be having another warp into the main base. Oh, Demi is being pulled apart again. The fact that Demi droned earlier was crazy. Wasn't respecting the all-in enough, and Demi loses 8 more drones. Behind this, Bistork has the economic advantage. He can start immortal production. Before that happens, he's going to be shading into the natural once again. Oh, it looks like eventually Demi is going to clean this up. And I do feel like Bistork maybe could have killed a couple more drones. It looks like he's going to get 1 more drone here at the 3rd. We're not stopping. We're not stopping. Oh, the drones! Get out of here. Oh. We are not stopping. Another queen is going to fall. Behind this, Bistork is taking his gases at his natural, so he can tech into a bay and go into disruptors, or he can just pump out immortals. Meanwhile, we have another shade into the natural. Oh, and we're losing too much. Ay. Yeah, adepts in the 3rd, the natural, and even the main base. No, the transferring workers are going to get caught out as well. By the time Demi cleans this up, he's not really going to have too much counterattack potential, to be honest. He has a lot of roaches, but they are slow roaches. And there is that first immortal being pumped out here. Ugh. Oh, nice cancel though. Demi, finally he's going to be able to breathe. Finally he's dealt with all of this. He gets knocked down to 34 workers. He does have a lair, but he doesn't have roach speed. Counterattacking without roach speed isn't the wisest of choices, but Bistork is transitioning. We've got a 3rd base on the way. We have the robotic spay. We have blink as well. And I do think that Bistork has done enough damage to be able to justify this. The pickup micro is on point. Another 3 drones go down. Oh. Demi fighting his heart out, trying to chase this down. But Bistork slow and methodically just resetting all the queens, making sure that the prism has free reign. Oh, and this is just too much. A late reaction. 4 more drones. Oh. Stop. My Zerg heart. It's bleeding, Puffy. It's bleeding. As we're gonna be able to clean up these adepts again. God, but look at this. Like, how do we deal with this? We have 3 immortals and sentries for force fields. Roach speed just now commences, and Demi, it looks like he should be going all in. Like, he should probably just wait for or try and hit a timing with roach speed and just send everything across the map. I don't think it's gonna work, but I think it's the only thing that Demi can do. And you know what? Demi doesn't have to move out across the map because Bistork is coming to him. Blink is done. We have 3 immortals. We have 5 sentries. Disruptors are on the way. I think Bistork, he can just roll Demi down. Ugh. Force fields were okay for what they were. A lot of lings do get shaved off. But again, 3 immortals may not sound like a lot, but oh my god, as we almost focused on our own prism. Jesus, Bistork, please. It may not look like a lot, but honestly, it really is. The first Nova whiffs nice splits from Demi, but he just doesn't have the numbers. The immortals are going to remain immortal. They're all going to stand strong here. He's going to take a couple bites to the face, but we blink on forward. The Ravagers go down. Lings flood in, but there's too much Protoss. And Bistork will be taking game number 1. With his 6-gate Glaive Adept opener. Oh, I say opener. Build, all in. GG. Strong start here from the Protoss. Are we going to have a Hong Kong derby? Are we going to have nothing but players from Hong Kong in the finals? That is the question. Or can Demi stop that from happening? Can he fight back and bring this series back? I do think he can, but alas, you know, it's sometimes difficult to read and correctly identify what kind of Glaive Adept opener you're up against, and reacting on the fly and making sure that, you know, you don't lose too many queens and all that, and things don't snowball. It's difficult. It's difficult. Boy. And we are now getting ready for our second game. It looks like the map. I'm a little bit shocked. We're on altitude. How did we get here? Whoa. What was vetoed? We had 2 vetoes each. So I guess we got rid of Neo-Humanity. I guess we got rid of Ancient Cistern. But altitude made it through? They're crazy. Okay. Interesting. So Bistork isn't known for his late game. I don't think he's had too many games go that long, so it would make sense for the Zerg player to want a little bit of room, but that's why it's a little bit suspect that our Protoss would let this through the vetoes. Let's see how this goes. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of altitude, we have... Oh. Hello? No! Demi! Okay. We have the Indian Zerg player representing Alpha X. You heard me call out his name. It is Demi. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of altitude, we have his opponents. We have the pink Protoss player, the Kong from Hong Kong. It is Bistork. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. Now, some of you may not know how he earned that nickname, the Kong from Hong Kong. If you are unfamiliar with the Korean scene, Kongs are used for players who come second. It's it's an endearing way, in a way, to you know, call someone, or to take note of someone who does have a lot of consecutive second places. Su was a Kong. Byul was a Kong. Jaedong, Yellow. Typically, a lot of Zerg players are Kongs. Oh my goodness, we have a gate expand. We have a gate forge. This is a macro cannon rush. I would love to talk about Bistork's name, and we'll get into that soon. But before that happens, Bistork is going to be throwing down a pylon. He's going to be throwing down a cannon. A gate forge, for those who don't know, this is a macro cannon rush. This cannon rush is designed to cancel the natural, and only cancel the natural. It is a very small commitment. Ideally, only 1 or 2 cannons are finished, and it's a way to just get a bit of an economic lead early on. The drones have been pulled, but the first cannon is on the way, and it looks like these cannons are going to finish. Oh, would you see the drones trying to dive on top of the probe? But alas, the probe is lubed up. The probe is a little bit too slippery. There we go. 2 cannons are thrown down. We could see a 3rd cannon, but again, 2 cannons are typically all you need. We want to cancel everything else. And again, very light commitment to the cannon rush. And Demi is forced to take his 3rd, and will be forced to take another hatchery as well. There we go. Lings are on the way as a response. 4 Lings in production. Queen should be on the way shortly as well, but there was no cancel on this hatchery, so Demi, it looks like he wants to try and save this. Bold move, Demi, bold move. Oh god, I don't really know if he will. He does end up making use of the larva here on the low ground. 1 larva did get picked off. Across the map, Bistork is well set up. He is expanding. Yeah, and this hatchery is going to be going down. I guess maybe Demi's going to try and use the broodlings to clean this up. But yeah, this is going to get a little bit messy. So 300 minerals down the drain here. And yeah, Demi, I think he recognizes he can't really deal with this position. Is unfortunate. Demi is knocked down to 2 bases. And he will be forced to, if he wants a third, to take this more linear-based third, I imagine. So a nice start for Bistork. Behind this, we have a Stargate follow-up. This could be for Void Rays, it could be for Oracles. The world is Bistork's oyster with how he wants to follow this up. Obviously, the downside of this Forge opener is that the Cybercore is delayed. But, you know, it's now done. Warp Gate's on the way as well. And for killing a hatchery, it's worth it. I mean, again, that's 300 minerals. That's so much lost larva, so much lost mining potential. I would say that this is just a better start for Bistork. Meanwhile, the Lings show up, but we have a shield battery, so Bistork's going to be able to defend. And something that I was going to say earlier is that if we're on altitude, I wouldn't be surprised if Bistork goes double Stargate Void Ray. I was on the cusp of mentioning that because if we're on a large map, it's for a reason, and it's not for macro. You know, like Bistork is innately a very aggressive Protoss player, and he's not really the kind of player to turtle up on 4 bases. I do think that he, even if he does go double Stargate Void Ray, it would be a more aggressive variant of that, a more in-your-face variant. As the cannons still haven't been cleaned up, Demi is taking his 3rd base here. So again, a very kind of spread out base setup here from Demi. Glaive Adepts can abuse this quite well, but we can see it's not a Twilight Council opener. It is that Oracle coming out after the Void Ray.
They're attacking your base, you know.
And the Void Ray is really scary because the Void Ray reveals that, hey, there could be a 2nd Stargate behind this. There could be more Void Rays. There could be Skytoss. Demi is in the dark, as the Void Ray is going to force all the Overlords back home. And the Oracle is looking for an opening. No, suppose the Queens, they're off a creep. Oh my god, the Oracle could go into the 3rd base, but no, we're headed towards the 3rd. I could head into towards the natural, but heads towards the 3rd instead. Nothing to really take advantage of here. Oh, as the Void Ray takes a lot of hits from that Spore. Looks like the Oracle is just going to go for a little bit of confirmed damage. Gets 1 drone. Going to get a 2nd. Ooh, does get a 2nd drone as well. You know, it's some damage. It's not a lot, but it is some. Oh, unfortunately, no target fire there. The Oracle is left idle. Oh, and is going to take a lot of hull damage. Is going to go down. Bistork with a little bit of miscontrol does slip up there. Meanwhile, I know that I said it, but I don't want to be right. I don't want to be correct with my prediction. It is double Stargate Void Ray. There's a 2nd Stargate. +1 air attack. Welcome to 2021. To PvZ in 2021 as we are getting into Skytoss. And altitude is a good map for this. So again, I assume that if this made it through the videos, it's for a reason, and this is that reason. Oh. Again, very map specific. I wouldn't expect to see this on any other map other than maybe Ancient Cistern, but even then, the rush distance by ground on Ancient Cistern is still relatively short compared to altitude. Oh my god! You have my attention. Is this charge? Are we going for a Void Ray charge all in? I feel it. 5 gateways, 6 gates in total, and a Twilight Council. Show us the charge, mate. Show us the charge. This is a this is what I was talking about earlier. even if Bistork did go double Stargate Void Ray, it wouldn't be to turtle. It wouldn't be to take slowly 4 bases, a 5th base, you know, turtle up and go into carriers and Tempest. Nah, mate. It's to get map control with the Void Rays, and it's to follow it up here with a Twilight Council, with a Gateway Explosion, and charge. Alongside a Templar Archive. So Void Rays into Charge Lot Archon. Oh boy, this is going to be wild. There is that charge, by the way. We do see Demi going for a counterattack, though. The Lings have been spotted by Bistork. The Void Rays are rushing back home before Bistork can make use of these gateways. Is Demi going to be pushing out? It looks like he will not. He backs off. He's going for an infestation, but Demi is macroing instead. And what's scary is that Demi hasn't really seen much at all. He doesn't know what the transition is. We have a Hydra Den on the way. He has seen multiple Void Rays. There's a Spire. He's being baited right now. Demi believes it's a commitment into Sky Toss, and it's not. It's anything but. It's a hard switch into Ground Toss. Again, this is the unpredictability of Bistork coming into play. But how tricky of a player he can be. And the Void Rays, they dive into the main base. There's not enough energy for Transfuse. The Spore goes down. Second Spore as well. We pull back the weakened Void Ray, and we are taking control of the main base. Ooh. Meanwhile, at the same time, we do have a bit of a run by here. Bistork doesn't have a lot to defend. He's going to be forced to cancel the 4th. A very nice counterattack by Demi. Very necessary as well. Oh, but these Void Rays are getting out of hand. One Void Ray finally goes down. The Queens are going to be enough here. As, oh my god, Demi, he shows his hand! And, Bistork shows his hand, and Demi goes for his counterattack. Oh, Bistork just doesn't have a lot at home to defend. There we go, he goes for a massive Zealot Warp in. Now the hand has been revealed. Demi responds with a Lurker Den. He realizes, hold up, why are there so many charge lots? Why is there an Archon as well? This is not Sky Toss at all. Demi has been bamboozled, but he has time to course correct. Not before losing a lot of roaches, though. Oh. And here we go. Hydras come out as well to support Bistork. This 4th base is so late. He wanted to get it a decent minute ago. And as a result, he's just being out macro. Demi with a comfortable 83 drones. He can focus on his Hydra army. The kind of point of transition, the surprise factor of Bistork's build is now gone. And Demi has been able to buy enough time to finish up his Lurker Den and actually make Lurkers. And Lurkers are all you need to defend against this. So the timing and the window that Bistork wanted to hit, it's not there anymore. It's a little bit too late for that now, and Bistork has to settle for expanding and transitioning, and there we go. We have a Bay on the way. The Lurkers haven't been revealed. If they were, I do think that it would be wise for Bistork to start carrier production, to be honest. Without carriers, Ground Toss can struggle quite a bit against Lurkers. Here we go. The Hydra Roach is pushing in towards that 4th base, and the supply difference is insane. Do we even have it? We don't have Storm. The High Templar can't do anything. Oh my god. We may have forgotten Storm. There is nothing here, and Demi is going to be able to end the game before things get too out of hand. He pushes up into the natural. Overcharge is being popped, but even with Overcharge, there's just a little bit too much DPS here. The Forge, it goes down. No Storm, Bobby. There were like 3 or 4 High Templar waiting, chilling, waiting to throw down their spells, but Bistork slips up a little bit. And it feels like an ace match is upon us, which is what we all want. A couple of Zealots are being warped in as well. We have an Immortal popping out. But GG gets called, and Demi ties up the series and is going to be taking game number 2. Ooh. Oh my god. Honestly, that counterattack at the 4th base from Demi was so important because it forced Bistork to turn around and it forced him to start making mistakes as well. He missed his timing. He missed his opportunity with the Void Ray charge on Archon. Oh, and once that window was closed, Demi made sure that it stayed closed. Oh. And now, we're going into the ace match. Game number 3. Oh, we're going the distance. And really, when it comes to series between Bistork and Demi, I do expect it to go to the ace match. You know, I expect them both to go hand in hand, go back and forth here, and bring it all the way to game number 3. But who's going to take it? I think it's very reliant on the map. I think we just saw from Bistork, depending on the map, he's willing to do different builds, different strategies. I feel like what we saw on altitude is very, very specific to altitude. And if we're going to be going on another map, then, you know, we'll see what is available to Bistork. Whether it's Neo-Humanity, whether it's Gresvan. I'm really curious. Whether it's Ancient Cistern. I'm not privy to the vetoes, so I don't really know what game 3 is, where it's going to be. But yeah, I think it's going to tell us a lot here about how the Protoss is going to open up. And I know I'm focusing a lot on the Protoss because Zerg is typically the reactive race, but Demi is going to have the opportunity to be aggressive as well if he wants to. He has been known to all in and go to full Link Flood specifically before off of like 28 drones or sometimes even less. Demi has Link Floods in him if he wants to whip it out. But it's a risky thing to do in the ace match. It's very risky, very risky. Oh boy. So we shall see. Oh, all right. It looks like Demi's just restarting his setup and restarting his PC. So, if you remember, he did kind of disconnect at the start of that game. So that's kind of why we are gonna have a little bit of time here before we get back into this. Until then, hope everyone is doing well. I see the chat. Go Protoss. Ay, ay, ay. I hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's enjoying the tournament as well. Good times to be had. I guess because we have a little bit of time to ourselves, if you do want to support this tournament, again, !Matcherino. There is a Matcherino page for this tournament. We don't have any coupon codes. We don't have any you know, ways to support the tournament for free, unfortunately. I mean, other than following us, of course, and watching. But if you want to boost the prize pool yourself, if you want to support this tournament, then you can contribute and donate to the Matcherino page. You don't have to by any means, but the option is there if you want. If the prize pool of this tournament goes above a certain amount, then we do pay out to top 4 instead of just top 2. So yeah, we do have that kind of system set up if you want to, or if you wish. Otherwise, if you want to support the tournament overall, not just this edition, but every edition, then !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon is set up to support all of our tournaments, not just Grand Platypus Open, but also the Sparkling Tuna Cup and the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. 3 tournaments that we host, all are supported by our Patreon, and they are set up to grow as well. So if we hit certain milestones, if we do hit certain like stretch goals, then they turn from bi-weeklies into weeklies, and then they can turn from weeklies into top 4 being paid or top 8 being paid as well. So yeah, it is kind of available there if we do get the support for that. So if you're in the chat and if you enjoy this region, if you enjoy this scene, and if you enjoy the Ducklings, then consider supporting us on Patreon. I mean, the money on Patreon from Patreon doesn't like directly go to us. it's all for the tournaments, but honestly, like, that is worth it. I feel, you know, we want to do what we can for the scene, for the region, like Oceania, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong. Like, I know they've been struggling quite a bit recently, And that's why we kind of came up with the decision to kind of focus our tournaments once again on Grand Platypus Open, basically, like on the smaller regions, because even though obviously Korea is hurting a lot, and that's why KSL got so much support, there are other regions as well, right? Like Latin America, China, Oceania, Southeast Asia, that have also been negatively impacted by the recent changes. And I don't really see many people, if anyone, kind of stepping up for them. So that's kind of like where we come in, right? We can see, or I can see, and we can see as well, myself and the other Ducklings, that there is like a void that can be filled here. You know, there's space for tournaments for some of these, for the little guys, with really great players. It's a bit of a meme, but you know, for the Chinese region to be consolidated and be negatively impacted the way that it has been, despite it having a world champion, is kind of crazy, right? Like Oliveira did so well for China, and for them to be now merged with Oceania and Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Oceania and all of that, and for them to lose so many spots as well in the DreamHack Open, in the DreamHack finals, in the Katowice finals, and the DreamHack main events, it's like, it's a bit sad. It's a little bit sad, so we're doing our part. We're doing our part. We're doing what we can. We're doing what we can. Otherwise, we didn't really have too much of an intention to bring back GPO. Like, some of our other tournaments have been a little bit more successful when it comes to signups and participation. But you know, these players in this region has always been a soft spot in our hearts. So yeah, we're bringing back the platypus. Bringing it back. We're not just bringing back the platypus, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have a new mascot. We always had a platypus, but our platypus used to be, you know, a bit of a different graphic, a lower quality graphic. I think I can get away with saying that. But we did recently get it commissioned, a new logo and a new mascot for Grand Platypus Open, and oh, he's down there. He's beautiful. He's swimming, Papi. He's swimming. And you can see him in some of the other scenes as well. We do have a couple of different variants of the platypus. And shout out to Shura. Shura is the player. Sorry. He is the artist that we did commission. He does all of our stuff. He did the platypus for Grand Platypus Open. He did the turtle for the Tenacious Turtle tussle. He also did the tuna, and he also worked on our emotes as well, like the tuna jamming out in the chat, as well as I think the duckling thinking. A lot of our emotes, they're all done by Shura. So massive shout out to Shura. Massive shout out. He's a great guy, and he's really talented as well. The reason why we came across Shura as an artist, as a graphic designer, he actually does work for some other StarCraft people in the scene. Yeah, I can't remember how we found him, actually. I think we were just looking for people online and looking for people that have worked on StarCraft streams or StarCraft streamers, and we somehow came across Shura. It was really cool, really cool. Very talented, very talented. He also streams as well. He streams his kind of work in progress, like sketches of like different commissions and stuff like that, and sometimes the final version as well, which is really cool. He also did all of my emotes, my personal live VIP emotes. They were all done by Shura. They're very cute. Very cute. But yeah, I apologize for this game taking the setup for the ace match taking so long. Just again, Demi had to restart his PC, restart his router as well, potentially. But it took a little bit, but it's okay. Oh, as game number 3 is going to be on Royal Blood. And speaking of game number 3, as we get into this, I want to give a massive shout out to Woodkid05 in the chat for resubscribing for 39 months. That's a long time. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for resubscribing. Thank you. I do appreciate it. We appreciate the support. All the money that we make here on Twitch It all helps fund our tournaments. Found this channel just before the start of COVID. Oh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And I'm sure these players appreciate it as well, because we are getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top right hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the Indian Zerg player representing Alpha X. It is Demi. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the Kong from Hong Kong representing the Juggernauts. It is Bistork. Here we go. Again, I apologize for the extended break, but we made it through in the end. We made it to the other side, and we are here to find out how this story ends. Who makes it to the grand finals to face off against Go-Go Joey, who's waiting there, who has been patiently waiting this entire time. Joey just taking down Terrans left and right, Asher, Blooming, slash, Oriana. No Terran could hold a candle against the Joey. But what about a Zerg, and what about a Protoss? As Demi is going for a hatch gas pool opener, forced to take the unnatural natural here at the triangular third base. And we were theorizing earlier, as Bistork is just being a little bit annoying with the probe, we were theorizing what Bistork could do depending on the map. Game 1, he went for a 6-gate Glaive Adept all-in. Game 2, he went for a macro cannon rush into 2 Stargate, double Stargate Void Ray. Game number 3, where do we go from here? The trifecta would be a charge all in. From what Bistork usually does. We could see Glaive Adepts again, or we could see charge. Could we see Blink? Could we see triple Oracle into Blink like a standard safe opener? I don't think so. I don't think Bistork is that kind of player. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on him. My money is on a Twilight Council opening, but we'll see. We'll see. As the probe, oh, he's coming back. Oh my god. He's coming back in. He's out for blood, but he is forced back by that drone. Demi. Oh, not taking any of this nonsense. And no, it is not a Twilight Council. It is a Stargate opener instead. Okay. I'm going to have to eat my words on that one. We have the Stargate. Everything is looking quite standard for the time being from Bistork. Of course, even from an Oracle opening, we can still revert back to a Twilight Council. We can shift gears, and that's kind of what I expect to happen, but we'll see. We'll see what Bistork has in store for us. As everything from the side of Demi is pretty normal. You know, hatch gas pool, we're getting our third base on time. We made a couple of lanes just to force that probe back. And Bistork is going to be here in between the bases, looking to catch any transferring drones. But of course, we don't really have any, and here we go. Bistork is opening up with a Void Ray. With that Void Ray, he's going to be able to clean up these Overlords. Oh, even gets a Creep Tumor towards the end. Very nicely done by Bistork. And this Void Ray is going to keep Demi out of his main base, out of his natural, and out on the map instead. So from here, we can go into another Twilight Council, go into Glaives, if we so wanted. We have an Oracle after this Void Ray. This is very reminiscent of some of the previous games that we have already seen today. Again, the Oracle after the Void Ray, it is a little bit inefficient when it comes to how fast the Oracle can get across the map and deal damage, but really, Bistork is banking on that surprise factor. He wants to try and keep this hidden for as long as possible and hope that Demi cuts some corners and doesn't have a Spore ready. Speaking of, Spore is on the way at the third base. The Queens are trying to come in as well. Oh my god, but Bistork, he just dives on the Queens. Oh, and it looks like he will get one Queen for some hull damage. Oh god, he's playing with fire right now. He goes in as well. He gets another 2 drones and will just barely get out of here. Oh my god. With 12 HP. What? On Royal Blood. We're going double Stargate Void Ray. Once again, +1 air attack and a second Void Ray, a second shield, sorry, a second Stargate. Oh my god. Before that happens, ooh, we are forced to recall. Bistork, he left his third base exposed. And these Lings are having a field day. They get a pylon, they get a probe. Very nice damage here from Demi. Oh, but does he get eyes on the researching Cybercore? I mean, 2 Void Rays are about to reveal themselves, and this is very reminiscent of game number 2. Oh, at the same time, we have a couple of Adepts shading into the natural base. Oh, and 7 drones go down. A surprising amount of drones, to be honest. Oh my god! And we're doubling down this time. We're not going into charge. We are going into a fleet beacon. From here, we can start researching Void Ray speed, or we can go straight into Tempest or Carriers. Just straight up Sky Toss. Haven't seen this in a while. And I like it because this is the sort of thing that I expected on altitude. Oh my god, as the stage trap goes off, the Queens get caught out. Now the Void Rays, they can keep on going. How many Queens are left? Oh no, there's only 6 Queens. There's only 3 Queens remaining. The Void Rays, they're gonna get out of control. The Hydrogen. The Hydrogen is gonna go down. No, oh, we just barely cancel it 1 second before it finishes. The Queens will pop out of their stasis, but already Bistork doing so much to delay any kind of anti-air. Meanwhile, an Overseer dives into the main base, and Demi has confirmation. He sees the fleet beacon, he sees both Stargates, but as a response... as the Void Ray goes down. As a response, we throw down 4 more gates, but we are still committed. 2 Carriers are on the way. The pressure is on Demi. He knows about the Sky Toss. He knows about the fleet beacon. There we go. He throws down a Spire and an Infestation Pit. Now, what is scary is that he was forced to cancel his Hydrogen and he hasn't rebuilt it. And Spires take a long time to make as well. So Demi will have pure Queen to defend. Queens are good, don't get me wrong, but they're also slow and immobile. And if the Queens are ever out of position, then Bistork can take advantage of that. Oh. So the 4th base is going to be cancelled at the same time. The 4th base of Bistork once again is going to be cancelled as well. Up. Ooh. Barely we get the cancel in time. But this is just like the game on altitude, where Demi's doing such a great job at being active and denying base after base. Bistork desperately needs to get a 4th base. 3 bases are not enough to really sustain this kind of army composition. That's 5 more gates. 9 gates in total, 10 gates in total, but no Twilight Council, no charge or blink available. So we're going to be lacking a little bit of finesse for Bistork's army. Meanwhile, the 5 Void Ray hit squad goes across the map, clears up some of that creep. Hydrogen has been rebuilt. And once again, another counterattack to this 4th base. Once again, not really much here to defend. Slow lots? We need more than that. There we go. The shield battery and the cannon will barely finish up. Void Ray's looking to intercept. There it is. Flux Veins has been researched here for Bistork. I don't know how I missed that, but... has been researched. Void Rays, they can zoom around the map. And speaking of zooming, there we go. There is that Twilight Council. There is that charge. So once again, Bistork is going to be supporting his Skytoss army with Charge Lot Archon. Of course, now we have some carriers as well, so we have some added extra beef to the army. Beef that we will stroke, of course. Yeah, that's a deep cut. There's people listening like, what did he just say? What? Stroking beef? Yeah, you heard me. As Demi's just going to be refining his army even more. He's going a Hydra Viper. It looks like he wants to get into Hydra Lurker Viper, which isn't a bad composition, but it does kind of take a while to get into just because of how gas intensive it is. We also have double spires and a greater spire as well. So Demi is getting all the tech that he needs, but does he have the economy? Does he have the base count? Does he have the drone count to be able to support this and to be able to transition into Corruptors and Broodlords after the first fight? Again, this is going to be available after Demi does drop some supply. And we'll see if he actually starts Corruptors before that happens. So we still have plenty of supply to work with. The Viper is just sucking on some of the buildings, gathering that energy. Bistork still not poking in here. Again, going for a slower approach, just walling off on his 4 bases, getting a 5th. A much more macro defensive style from Bistork this time. I don't blame him, especially after what happened in Game 2. Game 2, unfortunately, just didn't really work out for him. He kind of fell on his face. And the carrier count has been revealed here to Demi. Corruptors are on the way. The Spore Forest is here, but alas, oh, it does get the Oracle. But a lot of these spores are going to be going down. Spores that will need to be replaced. Meanwhile, we're getting into Broodlords. Not too bad. Hopefully we don't make too many. That's the scary thing about this transition. We don't want to invest too much into Broodlords and Lurkers. They have their place. I mean, you know, there are Archons and High Templar to deal with, of course. But if you can't even deal with what's in the sky, then again, the Broodlords, they will be kind of useless here. The reason why I bring that up is because we only have 2 Corruptors. We don't really have that much anti-air available for Demi. We have the Hydras, I guess, but I mean, what are they going to do against all these storms? That's a lot of storms. Here we go. Demi knows that he has to clean up some supply. These roaches right now are hurting Demi more than they're helping him, so he goes for a cancel on the 6th base. Very nicely done. Oh, can he get an Archon? Up! Almost gets an Archon, but not quite enough. And there we go. With the death of all those roaches, 15 Corruptors are on the way. So yeah, just Demi making sure that he has a standing army against the carrier Void Ray Archon army. Here we go. Bistork going for the slow push through the middle of the map. We have 3 Lurkers on the way. The Corruptors just popped out for Demi. But it's still going to be all about the positioning. We see Bistork just slowly clearing out all of this creep. The Corruptors are coming in. We do see a Parasitic Bomb on the Void Rays. Oh my god, and the Void Rays are going to be bunching up. Ugh. Yeah, not the best control there from Bistork. Is going to be forced to just back on off home. Back up and go home. That's what I was going for. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. But yeah, that was a lot of energy spent. But you know what? We have plenty more where that came from. We have 4 Vipers in total, and we have enough for some more parasitic bombs. And really, that's all that matters here for Demi. First storm is revealed. Broodlord's moving on forward as well. Storms are just going to be blanketed down here to just cover the retreat for Bistork. Oh. And I didn't really think much of this Zealot run by. It was like 4 Zealots. So I was like, yeah, it's fine. 4 Zealots, they'll be dealt with by the Lurkers. Nope. 11 drones go down. Very nice counter damage here from Bistork. At the same time, his main army is pushing on forward. We do have some parasitic bombs on the Void Rays and the carriers, and Bistork is standing in it. Oh, good. This is not what we really want here. The parasitic bombs do take down all the shields, but the carriers stand strong. The entire base goes down. 25 probes as well. Drones even. And Demi has to respect this. We also don't seem to have any detection. There we go. 2 observers are on the way. With without them, we can't really clean up this creep or even the lurkers. Bistork looking for another opening. Meanwhile, I know we've been speaking a lot about Bistork and his angles and his own army composition, but when it comes to what Demi's working with, what do we have? We have 4 Broodlords. Sorry, yeah, 4 Broodlords and 29 Corruptors. With the help of these Vipers, I do think we have a decent army here. Here we go. Demi wants to dive in. I don't think we have enough Archons. Because the Archon count is low, I do think that Demi can go for like the Parasitic Bomb maneuver, where you power bomb a carrier, and then you just dive in with all your Corruptors, and you allow that power bomb to kill all the Interceptors, because they all bunch up around that one carrier. If there aren't enough Archons, then Bistork does leave himself exposed to that. We do now have a couple more. We have 4 Archons in total. This is okay. I don't think this is ideal, though. I think we still want more Archons. I don't think Void Rays are the best supportive unit right now, even though we are making a couple. Meanwhile, minus 400, minus 400. Mothership is on the way. Let's go. Mothership is coming. You know, Bistork is going to be moving on forward here. Once again, trying to push up this ramp into Broodlords and Lurkers. Nova's going to be going off, and they will be connecting with some of these Spores and Queens. They will soften them up for the time being, but I still don't think pushing up this ramp is a wise choice. Speaking of, yeah. Void Ray is going to be going down. I like this a lot more. Bistork rotating around, going to be hitting some of these fringe bases, pushing up a ramp into Lurkers, into Broodlords, into stack defense is just not the way to go about this. Oh, the storms do blanket those Corruptors. The feedbacks as well. We do have a recall, and 2 carriers get picked off before the recall does save the rest. Oh yeah, it was a bit of a rough trade for Bistork. And I still don't like this. He keeps making more Void Rays. I don't know, man. I think the power bombs are just too good. But maybe there are too many Broodlords as well for Archons. That's the thing. It's a tough choice to make. Tough choice. Maybe Tempest wouldn't be too bad. Maybe. Until then, the Broodlords do reveal themselves, now hitting across the map. Quite an aggressive move from Demi. Once again, the powerbomb connects, and we're just sitting in the powerbombs. The Void Rays are not long for this world. Archons try to push on forward here. The Blink Stalkers as well. We're getting on top of the Broodlords. At the same time, the Corruptors are also getting on top of these carriers. The Archons are doing what they can to support the Void Rays as well, but oh god. That was an expensive loss for Bistork, but an even more expensive loss for Demi as every Broodlord goes down. Maybe too many Broodlords, maybe not enough anti-air. The carrier army stands strong. Demi losing far too much, and now he is vulnerable to this massive counterattack. 1 Lurker is going to hold the line. We don't have an observer. Oh my god. Demi dropped so much in supply. We do now have an observer with the army, to be fair. But Bistork, he's not going to be pushing, and he's going to be rotating around instead. The drones are going to live. The drones will be evacuated, but Demi's going to be losing another base, and this is dangerous because now he's down to 5 bases. Demi doesn't have a bank anymore. His economy was never amazing. His drone count at a certain point was okay, but I think Bistork has done it. Like, for Demi, what you see is what you get, and he knows how desperate the situation is. He goes for a run by. He has to try and make Bistork turn around. He has to make him go back home. But he's not turning around. Oh. Here we go. The Corruptors looking to dive on in, but they cannot touch this army because of the Void Rays. Do you see another Parasitic Bomb? Oh my god, the Void Rays are just sitting in it. Yeah, and with that, with the Void Ray count going down, no, we have some more reinforcements. The Void Rays are too good. Just barely enough. Demi's going to be losing every corruptor. We have another Ling run by, but Stalkers are going to clean that up. Looks like we have a ground toss transition. And with the death of these Broodlords, once again, I feel like Bistork may just have too much. Yeah, the fresh mining base gets taken out. GG gets called, and Bistork, after a 20-minute game, will take the series at 2-1. GG. His trades were too good. Demi's economy was never amazing, unfortunately, and Bistork did such a great job at just hammering it down time and time again. Oof. We saw how often those Broodlords were left exposed. We saw that the parasitic bombs were okay, but we only ever got like one set of them. We never got another. We didn't really have any queens to support. The spores weren't repositioned. Oh, Bistork, he just found the right angle. And we will be getting a PVZ finals. The Hong Kong Derby is upon us. Congratulations to Bistork. My condolences for Demi. He made it all the way to the ace match. He made it all the way to the semifinals. Wasn't quite able to overcome Bistork in the end. But again, they have a pretty close record. And I'm sure the next time they face, it's going to be Demi's turn. It's going to be his turn to take it. So yeah, it happens. It happens. Regardless, congratulations. We are going to be getting ready for the grand finals. As you can see here, Gogo Joey has been waiting this entire time. We are going to be going on a short break. Let me just quickly set up that break, by the way. Yeah, there we go. So we're just going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will be back here with the grand finals. Till then.